Hi guys, welcome. Today we're going to be trying a waterless wash with Maniac. I'm also testing out a gimbal to see how this might work for recording stuff, so we'll kind of check out both together. So here I've got a 2020 SLC 300. You've seen me wash it many times before. If you're not new to the channel, if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're not subscribed, it helps me out if you do. So today we're going to be testing out Maniac Waterless. I just did a video on all of Maniac's regular soaps, their bug remover, and some of their other products. So this is a waterless wash, not a rinseless wash, not to be confused. Waterless washes are designed to be used without water, as the name would imply. So this is a spray-on and wipe-off style product. They recommend to use a dilution ratio of 1 to 10, designed for use outdoors in direct sunlight. Spray a little product on the microfiber cloth during and finishing. Now, I don't regularly use waterless products. I do regularly use rinseless, and I've talked about that before. Many of my favorite rinseless, Hero, Nemesis, DIY, the Labo Cosmetica products, you can see them all kind of lined up there above the cabinet. The difference between a rinseless and a waterless is that a rinseless you spray on and you use like a little bit of water in a bucket with a sponge and you working on the car, and when you're done, maybe you rinse it, maybe you don't, but you rinse less than you would if you used soap. It's not no rinse, it's rinse less. Waterless is a product that is designed to be used without water. So this would typically be like if you had an apartment complex, if you had a situation where maybe you don't have access to water. Maybe it's something that you keep inside your car for emergencies, bug splatter, things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix it up in one of these solo sprayers. So I like the solo sprayers. You can use a pump sprayer if you want to. You can use a foamer. There's a bunch of different things. This is a 1 liter solo sprayer. These are from Obsessed Garage, but you can get them from other places as well. I'll put a link below. I do really like these for both waterless and rinseless washes. Like I mentioned, they are suggesting a 1 to 10 dilution. So this is a 1 liter bottle. What I'll do is I will grab my graduated cylinder, which is over here, and we'll mix up 100 milliliters of product with the rest of water. So take my graduated cylinder, we'll measure out 100 milliliters of product. You can see it's got like kind of a neon green color. And actually, let me fix that because we're doing 1 to 10. So really what we want is 90 to 900, because in total, we want a liter. Otherwise, that would be 1 to 9. All right, so we've got 90 milliliters here. Put that in our bottle. This is a brand new solo sprayer. That's my 5th one. I've never had a problem with any of the others. Jessica has acquired a couple of them for watering her plants, and then Adamo wanted 2 for himself, and I had red ones and these are blue ones, so we just kind of agreed that we would do 1 of each. We are right to the max line, which should be 1 liter of product. I'm guessing we're within 50 milliliters of the 1 liter total, which won't throw our dilution off very much one way or another. This does have a good smell to it. It's, I don't really know how to describe it. It's got a little bit of fruitiness to it. I don't know what it's intended to be. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this, hold that for a second, and then we will spray the entire car. Now, if you're in direct sunlight, I would probably do 1 panel at a time. Because I'm inside the garage, I have the luxury of being able to kind of do the whole car all at once. If you were doing an SUV, you'd probably need more than the 1 liter of product that I have mixed up here. But 1 liter is actually just enough to do this car without many issues. So I will be honest, I have hesitancy to use waterless washes. It feels unsafe to me to use so little liquid to clean a car. But I have before, and I've had success. Just, it kind of goes against, you know, everything that you think inside your head, just naturally, to use so little product to clean a car. It's like you don't have that safety of the water pulling the dirt off of your vehicle. But it is kind of a nice, relaxing way to wash, honestly. As you can see, I'm here. I've got about a half a bottle left, and we've got the whole car covered. So we're just going to start kind of at the top, and we'll work our way around. Now, normally when you're using a waterless wash, you want to have multiple towels, because you don't have a bucket to rinse the towel off, right? So I'm using this it's called a Pluffle. This is a Rag Company towel. It's the one that I typically use with waterless. It's also the one that I typically keep inside my vehicles. We'll start off on these glass panels to kind of get a feel. Glass is a really good way to kind of understand the product, how it works, because one, you're going to be able to see streaks really well, because glass is going to have that kind of dark or black hue, especially around the edges. And then number two, it gives you a good idea of how dirty the car actually is without worrying about scratching, because glass is so hard, it's really difficult to scratch it with dirt. You really need something like a rock that's going to chip it. So, let's see here. So we are getting a little bit of streakiness, but not much, not too bad at all on these windows. We'll just kind of grab that. A little bit of bird poop right there, that's off. And normally what I would do is I would start off with something like one of these windows, get an idea for how the product works, understand it, and then once I get the glass done and everything has had an opportunity to dwell, I would normally go back and hit anything that is on the paint with a second spray. So like bird poop, bug splats, things that might take a little bit to break down, things that might scratch when you're pulling them off the car. But it's not the easiest waterless product that I've used in the past, but it's certainly not bad either. Grab this pillar and this mirror. So now let's just want to hit the hood kind of a second time, and I'll show you the method that I normally use when I'm waterless washing. So take this towel, we're going to treat it like it's 8 towels, right? So we've got 4 squares, 4 squares, right? So I normally start off with the first square like this, and what I'll do is I'll kind of rub my hand on it softly, not a lot of pressure, and roll my hand as I'm using it. So you see that? So what I'm doing is I'm kind of dispersing the dirt down through the towel. Same thing, we'll kind of lift as we go and roll. And you'll see that the dirt is pretty flat and even across the towel. So I'm using this in quarters as I'm going. Now, obviously, if the car isn't that dirty, or maybe the paintwork, maybe the paintwork is imperfect, maybe you could be a little bit less, a little less careful if you really want to. But, this is how I generally do it when I'm waterless washing a car. And it's a good way to, or at least I found it's a good way to avoid scratching. So now this is like a clean quarter. I hit all of these places already. Just going to kind of do a very light remove any streaks, any excess like that. And then we'll flip it over. We've got 2 more 1/8 left on this towel. Try to get it here on camera. And you get kind of used to the action and the speed of it, and depending on how dirty the towel ends up, so you can see here, this towel's not incredibly dirty, but there are definitely some dirt lines like this guy right here. You can determine, you know, how you want to proceed, right? Do you want more towels, less towels? Do you want to hit larger sections, smaller sections, you know, things like that, right? And obviously, like on plastic areas, you can be a little bit less careful, like these vents in the hood. And I wouldn't pick at anything that's like stuck. Instead, what I would do is just spray it again and let the product continue to work and come back and hit it a second time. But it seems to be doing a pretty good job of breaking down, you know, the impurities and dirt, bugs, things like that that are here on the panel. So I don't really have any complaints. But I mean, here we are washing a newish, I don't want to say it's new, it's almost 5 years old at this point, Mercedes with practically no water. And we're doing it successfully. If you lose track of where you're at on your towel like I just did because you're talking to a camera, then just toss the towel in the bin, go get another one. You can always wash the towel and use it another day. No reason to risk scratching the car. Now the point of these products, these waterless products, is to encapsulate the dirt and to reduce the risk of you scratching the car, even if it does have some dirt in it. But you're never really going to be able to do this, at least this is my opinion. You're never going to be able to do this on a car that's, you know, dirty. If you're, you know, driving in mud, stuff like that, like this isn't the type of wash for you, you know? But for somebody like me, where, you know, this car gets driven to work, it's a 25-mile round trip on the highway. And we don't have rain, we don't have snow, we don't have weather. This can definitely be a good option. Especially if you're the kind of person who maybe wants to wash your car inside your garage, but you don't have drainage. Or maybe you have HOA rules that prohibit you washing your car. This is something that you could do with your garage door shut. I technically have those rules, but nobody here follows them and they don't get enforced, so we don't have to deal with them. I'm working on getting those rules repealed, actually, which is a topic for another day. So, at this point, I've used a pretty small amount of product. I still have almost half the bottle left. So I would say you could get through, you know, something like this, maybe a hatchback or a small SUV. I don't think you're going to get through a large SUV or anything that's exceedingly dirty, because those dirty cars, you're going to hit them more than once, right? You're going to spray them again. And when that happens, you're going to use a lot less product. So you can see I just kind of get used to the motion, right? We got that rolling motion on the first pass, and then generally what I'll do is kind of take the next square of towel and buff the area that I just did, before cleaning the next area. And you can see, even though the car doesn't look incredibly dirty, it still is. Still is a little bit, you know? And who cares anyway? You know, somebody just commented on one of my videos, like, why clean a clean car? And it's like, I don't know, man. Isn't that the aspirational goal? Like, my cars don't get dirty. And when they get dirty, I clean them. But I've got this car. It's nice and clean. It's well taken care of. You know, this car has never been machine washed. Maybe it was by the dealership before we bought it, but we bought it brand new. It's never been machine washed, not one time. It's been to the dealer twice. Both times, while it was there, they tried to buy it from us because it's clean, because it's low mileage, because it's well taken care of. And I think that's it. Like, that's the reason why. Why do I clean a clean car? Because if it never gets dirty, it's always taken care of. You know? Cars are, you know, a depreciating asset, but they're still an asset. They're still something that you have. And that something has a value, which the value of anything is what somebody's willing to pay for it, right? That's how you define value. A buyer that is, what is the saying? A buyer not under duress, under like reasonable circumstances, what would they be willing to pay for it? So, in my mind, keeping these cars clean, keeping them maintained, means that we have the highest likelihood of getting as much money as possible out of them when it comes time to buy something new. And beyond that, I enjoy washing the cars. And I've actually really enjoyed doing waterless and rinseless washing, more rinseless, honestly, because I can do that inside the garage. And I can do it inside the garage very easily. And my garage does not have, you know, a drain, so to speak, but it, like almost every garage on the planet, does have a slope. It's probably about 4 inches from there to the back. I'll know exactly what it is, but the cabinets are 10 feet long, and it's about 2¼ inches between that leg and that leg. So I'd say we're probably like 4 or 5 through the whole depth of the garage of slope downhill. And all of the water just runs its way out, which is nice. So I used 100 milliliters of chemical, a little bit more water. I still have a little under half a bottle, say probably 300 milliliters left in here, 1/3 of a liter. Looking at what I've used, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pluffles, which can all be washed, have all been washed before, can all be washed again. And what I normally like to do next, just to remove any streaks and kind of provide a little bit of protection. So this has a good slickness. It's not as slick as most of the drying aids that I use, but it's done a good job of unclogging the coating. I think what I'm feeling here is that the coating has, you know, come back, right? So we're going to use this one last time. This is the exterior quick detailer from Maniac. I did test this when I did the outdoor wash using their soap products, and I found that I liked it. It just wasn't honestly my favorite, because the Garage Therapy and Yum detailers that I've used recently have both been fantastic. But this has a nice slickness to it. It's just not quite as good as some of those. But honestly, those are top tier products, and not every line can have, you know, not every line can be all bangers, I guess, would be the word that the cool kids would say, right? So I don't know if it slaps, I don't know if it's bussin', because I'm not cool enough to understand those things, but I like it. I think Maniac is definitely a recommendable line. There's a lot of products in it. You know, they've got like an Alcantara cleaner, which is a little bit specialized, and some other things that are, I don't want to say unique, because like Sonax makes an Alcantara cleaner, but like, you know, Armor Detail Supply doesn't have a specialized Alcantara cleaner, for example, right, as a full line, but this does. And like I was talking about last time, you know, I don't really understand the Mafra product lines. There are 4 of them, so Mafra owns Maniac, and it says Mafra, M-A-F-R-A, right on the bottles. Mafra also owns Labo Cosmetica, Kadiba, and then they have their own line called Mafra. And I don't really, you know, understand like which ones go where and why, but it feels to me like this is a consumer-oriented product, Maniac, and that Labo is a professional-oriented product, and Kadiba is more of a coating-oriented line. So that actually worked out really well. And all I'm doing is just hitting every panel, trying to provide a little bit of extra protection, call it a topper, quick detailer, a little bit of extra slickness. So this is their glass cleaner and degreaser. Grab a window towel here, glass towel. The fact that this says degreaser in it, I find interesting. Glass cleaner and degreaser. It's got a strong scent, smells clean. It's got decent, I don't know what the word is, like stiction. Like when you spray it, it doesn't run down the panel, which is kind of nice. It doesn't feel super aggressive like Built Handler Traceless, for example. I kind of always use that as my example because you can literally light it on fire. It's like solvent in a bottle. So it doesn't feel that aggressive, but the trick with glass cleaner is always everybody uses too much. You just need to use less. Spray less and you'll be good. No streaks. Seems to be working really well. Side glass, back glass, tinted, not tinted. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Glass cleaner is one of those things. It seems like a lot of them work really well. And it's like as long as it works, you don't really think about it. I don't think there's anything here that's unique or game-changing, but it does work well. So if you're interested in investing in the entire line, you know, their glass cleaner is solid. Grease remover for glass and windscreens. Does not damage glass protectors. Okay, so it's safe on glass coatings, quick and easy, works to remove stubborn dirt and grease, removes limescale and oily substances, zero streak technology, ammonia free. Will not damage material it comes in contact with, including delicate fabrics like Alcantara or other dashboard covering materials. Suitable for all types of glass, including tinted, pleasant, refreshing fragrance. Yeah, worked well. No problems at all. So, another solid product. So we have a clean car behind us. I'm 28 minutes into this video, which includes getting ready, mixing up bottles, setting up the camera, testing some stuff with the gimbal. So it's probably reasonably a 20-minute wash without doing it on camera and just kind of going through the motions yourself. We started off with Maniac Waterless concentrate. We mixed that at 10:1 inside our solo sprayer. I used about 90 milliliters of product, and I was able to do this entire car with about a third of a bottle remaining. So that to me says I use, 60, 75 milliliters of product to do this entire car, which I think is pretty inexpensive. On to the next, we use the exterior quick detailer as kind of a topper, quick detailer, drying aid, whatever you want to call it. The car wasn't really wet. That worked very well. Good slickness, good gloss. Overall, very nice. Like I said, I don't think that either one are honestly my favorites. I prefer a rinseless wash. I prefer, Yum Detailer and Garage Therapy's detailers right now. Those are my favorites. But this is very, very nice. It's definitely like a top level product, fifth-ish place. Then we tried out the glass cleaner and degreaser. That was uneventful, worked well, no issues. Usually with glass cleaners, as long as they work, I'm fairly happy. It's ammonia free, it's tint safe. They specifically call out on the bottle that it's safe on Alcantara and delicate surfaces, which is kind of a unique thing to say on the bottle, so I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, it works well, works very well. So, all in, I think that it was a great experience using the products. We still have a couple more to try out, specifically the ceramic shampoo, the Alcantara cleaner, the APC wheel and tire, which I've used before, but we're going to do it again, the interior cleaner, and the all-around plastic protectant, I think are the last ones. Oh, and the iron remover. So we'll work through some of those as time goes on and finish up the line. So far, really solid line, pretty inexpensive to use, easy to use, more of a ready-to-use style product. Nothing here has been insanely, nothing here so far has wowed me, but they've all been very good, just being honest. Now on the other side, Mafra has the line Labo Cosmetica, and Labo Cosmetica had a couple products that were just absolutely insane. So, the fact that these are more ready to use might just be, I think that's just where they're aimed, right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. I thank you for watching, and I hope that you're having a great day. Give me some feedback what you think about using the gimbal to record stuff like this and having the camera follow me around. It's a lot cheaper than having a cameraman, and maybe we'll incorporate it a little bit more in the future. Hopefully it wasn't too much movement. We'll see when I'm editing it how I like it. Maybe this whole video will get thrown away. So thank you. Have a great day.